I look like Fester Adams.
Girl, let me tell you, with all this excess skin, every time I look at my naked body from the top down, like I let it hang there a little, and I look like the evil witch from Snow White.
Oh my God. Well, I don't want to see that. I'll have to ask John later. But I'm telling you, I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I'm like excited that we've been doing so good on this like weight loss journey. And I'm like, this is great. Cause like I'm fitting into stuff that like I'm getting from my skinny friends. And I'm like, yeah, I feel good. And then you get naked.
Yes, absolutely.
And then you're standing there and I'm like,
yep. Anyway, we want to welcome you to the episode where we realize our inner voice might need supervision.
oh no, she definitely does. I don't know where she goes half the time, but when she comes back, sometimes she's just fucking mean.
Well, you know, a lot of times there is plain language in the science of why we are mean to ourselves. There is a negativity bias in all of our brains. The first thing that we do upon seeing something, we scan for something negative. Always. That's what the human brain does. You instantly look for the negative in something. You're comparing and contrasting. And no matter what, like, that's what our brains do.
Now, you know what gets me is like I told you, I've been mental health wise, I've been really working on myself. And I always try, and even before, you know, my mental health went to shit, I always tried to see something nice in somebody. So if I met somebody, the first thing I'm like, oh, look, they got nice eyes. Oh, they have nice skin. Oh, they have good looking hair. And then you get to know them, you know, emotionally, and you're like, wow, they're really kind. Or, you know, I'm really glad that this person gives a crap about me and puts forth the effort to get to know me and try to help me. But then, like, you're right. And like what you're saying, I look at myself and I go for the negative, like every time.
You know, it's funny that you say that too, because even in every situation that I've ever been in, be it personal, professional, whatever, be it, I have always tried to, even people that I don't care for, pick one thing that I love about them, one thing that just makes them shine. And eventually I learned to love more of their qualities. So I'm definitely not someone that judges somebody from the moment I see them. I mean, obviously, I feel like sometimes I pick them apart and I'm like, okay, what kind of person is this? What, blah, 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 blah. But ultimately, in the end, I like to get to know somebody. I like to at least, you know, read the inside of the cover before I decide if I want to finish the book completely.
Definitely. Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah, definitely. I just now see, and I'll tell you, I've invested like so quickly into people, or for whatever reason, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be the savior. Here I am. I want to help. I want to save you. Because I don't like to see people hurt and I don't like to see people struggling. If I can help, I want to be the person to help. And I've said that before, but then it's like, I can't even figure out how to help myself out of my own funk, my own thoughts, my own words, you know, my own put downs. And then the result is I am my own worst enemy. I'm the one that hinders myself the most. I'm the one that stops myself from doing things. You know, I mean, there's times that I've had things offered to me and I was like, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you know what? You would be really good at that. And then all of a sudden that voice creeps up and they're like, no, they don't really want you. And I'm like, shit.
You know, that's funny too, because where do you think those negative voices in our head started?
I want to say in childhood, but see, I don't feel like my parents did that to me.
But it doesn't necessarily have to be parents.
True.
How many times were you in an environment when someone said, you're not enough of this, you're not enough of that, you're not this, you're not, you know what I mean? Like all of those things that they told you that you couldn't be. You had teachers doing it to you. This was back before there was a big movement on the internet and everybody said, oh, why are we treating each other this way? And then things went to shit again. Yeah, so I don't know what happened. Yeah. I mean, but honestly, like really, where do you think about a lot of those? Some of those things that you repeat to yourself, are they insults that you maybe heard somewhere along your life?
Oh, I'm sure I had. I know I had. I mean, childhood is childhood and childhood is cruel. And we as parents, I tried to shield my kids from it. And I'm sure my parents tried to. But then here's the completely different thing. I am a completely different parent than what my parent was. I don't parent at all like my parents did. Same. So I don't know. And we live in a different time. Like I know where my kid is. My kid walks around with a computer that tracks their movement all the time. So like I always know where my kid was. And that wasn't our childhood. Our childhood was, you know, we left in the day and we came home for dinner. And, you know, the neighbors kind of kept an eye on you, which was nice. But I mean, your parents didn't know what was going on. And, you know, not for nothing, if something happened between you and somebody else and somebody treated you bad, or you got in that fight or something happened. It never went to the point of it getting on like to the internet. And then everybody has a stake. Everybody's saying something. Everybody wants to have a voice in something that's going on between two other people. And then here you are, because now you get all these conflicting voices, and the voice that was telling you what you were telling or what you were saying to you. Now, where the hell are you? Who do you listen to? Who do you figure out? But you don't, because it keeps weighing you down, because you're like, maybe they were right.
Right.
Maybe I am that. Maybe I am that. And then it carries on. And then when it's repeated, and that happens, you know, to people in childhood, I mean, that's one of the huge mental health crises here is just, you can't break the cycle, and then you have to break it for your children.
Absolutely.
You know, and like we talked about before with being back in our kids 24/7, and maybe, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? But I just never wanted my kids to feel like how I felt, but I was doing it to myself. So I'm assuming maybe they do it to themselves. And then that worries me.
And it's weird to think about too, because in all reality, we're all just human.
Yeah.
And even though we have these difficulties and we have these obstacles that try to stand in our way, which most often are ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
We're all human. At the end of the day, we all get up, have a goal for the day, have people we care about, have things we care about.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just weird that we can talk so badly to ourselves. I mean, there's a big thing with perfectionism and then comparison culture. And that really just turns the volume up on of those emotions.
And women do that. We compare ourselves. We cannot help it. We compare ourselves. I compare myself to you. I do. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, man, you know, she's really pretty. I wish I had nice hair.
Girl,
you know,
don't feel that way.
And stuff like that. But then, but here's the other part. Have you ever had somebody like say to you, like, hey, you're worth it. And like, and I love you, or whatever, but you just cannot believe it because you've made yourself feel like such crap about yourself.
Right.
That you cannot see that this person could genuinely be handing you, I'm just going to use this reference, handing you flowers of like, I love you. You're wonderful. You're great. You're something.
That's just affirmations.
And you're
That's
taking
affirmations.
it. But they're say they're proving it, or however you want to look at it. But like, even if they're giving you the affirmations, but you're taking the flower and then dropping it on the ground every time.
Right. Because you're not realizing that they're seeing that beauty in you.
Yeah. Because to me, I automatically assume you're lying. Anybody who's like the other day, like I was telling you this afternoon, we had gone to dinner. And the waiter was like, oh, you said something very nice about the sweater. I had a really nice sweater on. And he had said something about it. I was like, oh, thank you very much. And then he like left and I was like, ew, he didn't mean that. He's like, he was making fun of your sweater. And then I'm like, now I'm picking up my sweater the whole time. And I'm like, geez, I really like this sweater. Now I don't want to wear the sweater. What did he mean about the sweater? And then like, now I'm like, what if I don't, maybe I shouldn't wear the sweater again. And why would that be what I jumped to? Because the comment wasn't rude, but why did my brain make me jump to that?
Because instantly you're insecure about yourself. How could someone find something great about me? And, I have always, because you said that, you said you compare yourself to me. I have always felt like in my group of friends that I am the fat, funny friend. Like
me too.
The ugly, fat, funny friend.
Me too. I'm the Duff. Isn't that designated ugly fat friend? I don't know
whatever the hell it is. Yeah. But I've totally been that friend. And like, it's okay. Like I've been comfortable with being that person and I've accepted it. And I never thought it was a negative thing. Like I never would talk down about the women in my circle. I would never tell somebody their dirty little secrets. Never. Like these girls, they had me no matter what. And I always felt good in that sense. And I mean, I have a hard time. I do talk down to myself in certain instances, but for the most part, like I have a lot of self-love and I don't know why, but I've just always felt really good in who I am. It didn't matter if I was almost 400 pounds or even where I'm at now today. I've always still seen the same woman, which brings us to understanding the difference between nurturing that inner voice and having a critical voice. Like you need to understand that you could think of yourself objectively. You could see yourself and you know what I mean? Like whenever you're looking in that way, you've got to build a kinder voice for yourself.
I always think she needs a fucking snack.
Maybe. Listen, I either need a snack or I got to take a shit.
Yeah. You need to eat or you got to poo. Let's get this out of here, girl.
Well, I mean, what are some unhinged things your brain has said to you? Like you wake up, it's 2 a.m., can't sleep. You're like, oh yeah.
Oh, I'm a human piece of garbage. That is my go-to thing is I am a human piece of garbage.
Well, we absolutely have different intrusive thoughts. Because if I'm waking up at 2 a.m., I'm coming awake being like, what woke me up? Was there a sound? Is there somebody here? Let me plan my escape route.
Oh, see, you got a good mind. No. I don't know. And it bothers me because I don't want to be like this, you know, and I am very much the person who I feel like I'm very unseen and whatever. I very much like to do the quiet help. I like to help people but I don't want the fanfare of it. I don't want anybody's fanfare. I just want to help and I want to be there with somebody and build stuff. I want to build. I want to, you know, I want that and I want the whole part of this. But then I just can't get out of my own fault, my own shit to build my own stuff. And you know I have stuff because I do run my own gig and you and I do stuff and I was doing other things and everything. And we got this going. So it's not like I'm not incompetent ish. ADHD, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Look, there's a squirrel. But other than that, I feel like, yeah, I could handle it. But there's nights I sit up and I'm like, man, I'm going to this podcast up with her. I'm like, you know, because you can stay on point and I'm like,
yeah, but we do pretty good at bringing it back. Bring it on back, girl.
Yeah.
We do. Well, we do pretty good.
Now let's talk about downstairs. I'm telling you that. And your son had to keep telling you to stop talking so I could get the story on.
You know, there's a difference whenever this is sitting in front of my face. I could be on topic. And then like sometimes if I ask you something and you just start roaming and you see my face go, you know,
yes.
You know,
it's like,
I'm like, excuse me, where are you going with this?
Come back.
Well, I mean, I feel like my brain tells me unhinged things constantly. Like there's times whenever I'm like, just floor it. You can make it through traffic. If you hit them, fuck it. Or the times whenever I think, wow, let's see how far this hill is. Right. Let me just, I mean, honest to God, I feel like all of us have those intrusive thoughts. I feel like there is probably not very many people that don't. I have a complete inner monologue 24/7.
You can tell I'm my own best friend, so I'm my own worst enemy. But I mean, like, and the other thing is, I don't know if other people do this, but if I sit down and take any sort of time for myself, I immediately start looking around my house and I'm like, man, you should probably get up and sweep, man, before you sit down.
Oh yeah, that's me too.
And then maybe I should dust. And then,
I have let me tell you, I have a reward system. I do a chore and I get a reward. I get to have like a little snack, smoke a little, or I get to just chill for a minute, play my video game. And then I do it for about the same amount of time it took me to do the chore. And then I'll be like, okay, let me do another chore. It's a reward system. And I'm telling you, it pays off. I feel like I get more shit done. I mean, obviously not this week because I'm sick and we're not going to talk about it.
but you're on the mend. And hey, we're sitting in your house. It looks good to me.
Listen, my house is not where it should be. Trust me.
I have that puppy at my house. Let's just say that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would drive me crazy. So, I mean, okay, well, we should probably think of alternative ways to view ourselves because even though we feel like we're failing, there's a lot of proof in life that we're not.
True. Very true.
There's a lot of proof in life that we're not. There are a lot of things that we need to remind ourselves of. You know, when the kids were little, I used to get up every morning and I would write like a daily affirmation in a dry erase marker on their bathroom mirror.
Aww.
Just a little something to like remind them that, hey, I love you. I'm here for you. And you got this. Like kick today in the ass. Even if it was something stupid, just like a stupid little poem I made up. Like I probably have some pictures in my camera roll. I'll show you sometime because I would draw little designs and yeah, it was the goofiest things. But I hope that those are things that they look back and they're like, yeah, mom always believed in me.
I think that's wonderful. I mean, maybe I wasn't so much. I definitely said that to my children, like, and like I said, I'm 100% back. Like, I want to be an artist. I'm buying your art supplies. Oh, I want to be a baker. Oh, I want to be a guitarist. You know, with my daughter and with my son, it was always very scientific and gaming and things like that. And I'm like a gung ho person. I'm all in. I'm buying you what you need. You're going to succeed. You're going to be whatever you want to be. And we talked about that last time about, are we backing them too much? But, and then I don't know. I just, like I said, I came to this realization, like, who the fuck is backing me? Like, I'm tired and I'm just like, I'm sick of carrying the load. So I even take with what we're saying. And then I wonder, is that just my inner monologue being like, you know, you're just, I don't know. Because as soon as I think of, like I said, the next thought in my head is, whoa, you're a human piece of shit that you wouldn't continue to carry this stuff for everybody when they've been, you know, counting on you to carry this.
You know, but sometimes you need a break.
Well,
can't always be on. You gotta give yourself some grace.
Yeah, that's this right here. And I don't know what we can say, but that's.
Did we just hit it? Did you just hear something go kaboom?
That was me. Was that your kid, dude?
I don't know.
Hopefully he's all right. Nobody yelled.
Well, I
mean, we got headphones on.
I heard the kaboom. I feel like I would hear a rah. Oh gosh.
Well, we'll let you know at next episode if he was maimed or not.
Yeah, at some point we'll see. We'll see if he's still alive. Well, I mean, what do you think it meant to be grown whenever you were a kid? Like, was it a big fantasy for you to think about being an adult, being grown up, being old enough to... I remember I was most excited about being old enough to drive. And I had my car exactly... It was like a couple days after my birthday. I don't even think I had my car 15 days before I flipped it.
Holy shit. 11 days. 11 fucking days.
No freaking way, dude.
Yes. 11 days. I smashed into a back of the car. Dude, the car shut off and hydroplaned. I didn't know what to do. So pumping the brake doesn't help. And that's it. Doesn't help. Doesn't help.
Dude,
smash into the back of an SUV.
I hit the edge of the road and I overcorrected and I lost control and I flipped over the highway, nosedived into the ditch and flipped end over end.
And
twice.
She's here.
And then it spun and then it barrel rolled.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know how the hell I did it.
No, I don't know how the hell you're sitting here.
But I overcorrected and now I have what I refer to affectionately as corner edgeophobia.
You know what makes me laugh is every time we leave, I'm like, you have to drive because I don't like the highway.
Yeah, and you know nothing about my driving anxiety.
I know. And now you know why I like to drive. Look, I don't like to have to merge into traffic, okay?
Oh, that doesn't bother me.
Oh, no, it bothers me.
And God. Yeah. 3 days. I got my car 3 days after I turned 17 and I flipped it on March 31st. And you know that I went to school and everybody was like, April Fools.
Oh, fuck you, people. Dude, I can't believe we have like the same shit. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is stuff we've never talked about. I know it seems like we've known each other forever. It's just because we got fucking the most vibest souls together. It's fucking insane. It really is.
You know, wait, have you had multiple car accidents?
I don't want to say anything
my
about
God. Let me tell you about my second one. My second one, I had to take off school because I was working so much. And I used to have a parrot whenever I was a kid. And he was fantastic. My mom would yell for me in the kitchen and she'd go, Jennifer. And he'd say, what? He was the cutest little thing. But once I started working and whenever I was a senior in high school, I wasn't spending as much time with him. And something about birds not being separate from their owner, they have separation anxiety. And he started pulling his feathers out on his chest and then he dug like a hole and I could see into his chest cavity. It was crazy.
Oh, Jesus.
So I was taking him to the vet that morning. And I went to the gas station that was like the local hang. It was actually where my grandparents had a charge account. I could go buy them cartons of cigarettes. You know, that kind of shit did happen when we were kids.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, you could just go in and be like, hey, I need a carton for Grandma and Gramps.
And stick this
just
candy
put it
bar
on it. Put it on my tab. Yeah. Of course you get a candy bar on it every time.
You walked all the way down there.
Hello. Anyways, so I'm parked in the driveway and I will go to walk inside and a truck backed into my car and I was parked and this truck backed right into just smashed my car and my bird was like flapping around and he was like, ouch, ouch, ouch,
Jesus.
ouch.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, that poor bird.
It was crazy. And I got out and the man was like, I was like, so you backed into my car? He's like, no, I didn't. So I walked my fat ass to the back of his truck and I picked up the piece of plastic on it. And I said, do you see this? This was on your bumper. That's my taillight.
Jesus. Hey, my bird's screaming, ouch. Come on.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I was trying to get him to the vet. I was trying to get there. And then the guy left and the cops didn't show. Oh, God, it was a nightmare.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because my second one was a dude who ran the stop sign and I hit into him.
Oh
and then he tried to claim that like he stopped it and I ran him one and I didn't have a stop sign. But the lady behind him's like, you missed that stop sign, sir. I called 911.
Oh.
And I was like, thank frickin' God. My car was totaled.
Oh.
I mean, I drove a little frickin' Volkswagen Jetta.
Right. I got T-boned when I was pregnant with Dalton. I had a little Plymouth. What the hell was it? A Plymouth? You know what? I don't remember. I don't remember. It was a
car.
It used to be Plymouth and then someone else, Dodge, took them. Neon. It was a neon. And it was literally like highlighter purple.
Oh, I fucking would have loved that.
It was a beautiful car. I loved it.
So nice.
And you know what ticks me off the most about that wreck? The day before. Meanwhile, I'm like 36 weeks pregnant with Dalton. The day before, I had completely detailed that motherfucker. Like, I went in with a fine tooth and comb, and I was like, I must have been nesting.
Yeah, you were like, baby's first ride in the car.
And I was so excited. And then I go through a light, and I was taking my sister to take her driver's test, actually. And I was just telling her, I'll stop and let you drive. And I pulled out at a light, and the kid ran the stoplight, T-bone my driver's side. Ugh. Fun times. And everything was great. He was on his cell phone. Everything was great. And then the paramedics came and they broke open my car door and pulled me out. And he saw how pregnant I was and his jaw just dropped. And I was like, ha ha.
Oh. Dude, I mean, my kids don't even drive. So, and
don't
to be
drive
honest,
either?
I am afraid to get them on the road. And my daughter, Faye, she aight. I mean, I sat in the back seat and held my son's hand with my eyes closed the whole time she drove, but she was all right.
We took Jasmine driving and she was my inner thoughts. She just, instead of hitting the brake, she just went the gas and she hit our barn, the barn out back. She hit the barn. If you look at the front of our car, you could see where she hit.
Oh, well, she wanted to get there in a hurry and you weren't helping.
Apparently.
Huh.
God. Well, I think that I got a little distracted. So when was the first time that you realized that adults were just winging it?
I had picked up doing the laundry to just alleviate some stress at our house. And I went to go normally I just left it on the bed, but I was like, I'll take the extra step. I'll put everybody's stuff away. So I'm in my parents' room, putting the stuff in the drawer. And I see this cigarette pack. And I had secretly been smoking for like 6 months. So I was like, ooh, I'm going to steal a cigarette, and I'm going to go smoke it. So I'm all excited. I opened the pack and there was freaking marijuana in it. And I was like, man. Here they are freaking telling me dare and this and don't do drugs. And they're sitting here smoking the silly grass. And I'm like, huh. So then I took it. And I'm just going to tell you, I smoked it. But anyways, I took it and I smoked it. And then what are you going to say? You can't say anything to me because then you have to admit that you
had it.
Yeah, you had it.
That it was yours.
So that's when I realized, like, my parents don't know crap. Sorry, mom and dad.
I'm trying to remember the first moment that I realized my parents were just full of crap. I mean, I honestly, I always thought that they knew best. And a lot of times that I argued with them, whatever. But I think the first time that I realized that they were just winging it was one time that I don't even remember what Dalton did, but he was in so much trouble and I was so angry. And I saw my anger and I saw him being afraid. And instantly I thought of little me. And I thought, would I want to be treated this way? And that was the moment that I realized that we're all doing it for the first time.
True.
And I never gave my parents enough credit because I thought, well, they're the parent. They should know how to parent. And
but there's no instruction
honestly,
manual.
they're just winging it like you are. It's your first time being their kid. Their first time being your parent.
I remember my friend and I, and I'm just because we'll throw on how good parents are. We lived in this little community, and I was probably about 5, and I liked elderly people, and I even to this day I like elderly people. I think they're adorable and everything about them. So they'd come out and I'd march them up and down the street, and we would do this walk for calisthenics, so that every day at 6:00, little Kelly would come out and then I'll march all the old people up and down the street. It was a whole thing. It was adorable. But this was going to be me, and I'm going to just march. I forgot where the fuck I was going with this story. Oh yeah, no, back on track, guys.
There you go. There you go. Rewind.
So anyway, so I would do this. So anyway, another girl moved into the neighborhood, and then her and I became friends. Well, she had some older brothers. Her older brothers built this really cool frickin' tree house. So I stopped marching the old people up and down the road, which then threw my parents off because, anytime it's at this time, that's where Kelly was. She was marching. They couldn't find me. But I had to go see this tree house. So I took off with this girl. And I realized when I, came back and the cops were there and every old person in my neighborhood is standing with my parents, and the look on the face of like the relief, like they thought something happened. I was like, holy crap. Like they didn't just know that I just, decided I wasn't going to march the old people today and I was going to go hang out with my friend. Like the winging it of what would you have done in that situation had something have happened to me or whatever else, because they didn't know where I was. That there is nothing. I went off on my free will like a stupid idiot, and here's my parents stay scared and worried with no thought of what to do. How would you react to that? And then it's like, yeah, there's no instruction manual. There's nothing. I pandered this into the one time, my kid decided she was going to leave the house. I don't know where she was going. We didn't live in the greatest neighborhood, but yeah, she was going to go outside and she was going to take the dog with her because he needed a walk and mom wasn't moving fast enough. So Anders right into that. And then the reaction mine was the same. I went to call 911. She didn't get very far though. The dog wouldn't let her go out the door once she got to the door. But still, you had to run around and find her. So I felt the same fear, and it had regressed me back to that thought of when I had done that to my parents and the winging it situation of it and everything, and realizing there is no instruction manual. There's no way to say what to do. There's no way to make this tiny human do what you want to do. Just like there's no way for me to make, I don't know, you could make your own self do it, but there's no way to just make yourself be kind without getting a kindness from somebody else. You get what I mean? Right. Which then spans into what I was thinking. Oh, well, back to your idea with the mom for a minute, where we're going to just start offering that kind word because we can be the inner thought. If that is what is needed, we could be that inner thought to kind of just give you that change, because maybe a stranger can make you feel better than what you can do.
Right. Exactly. And
I went to the trauma response of what you were asking with how'd you figure out parents were winging it? Because there's things that could never, that might have never happened to somebody else, where their kid took off and they didn't know where they went, and like the thought of them being kidnapped or whatever else. I had just taken it to a trauma response in my head, because I just feel like that would be the one time where I don't think I could figure out any sort of control. Right. Like I would be completely out of control of my emotions and everything else. So it would be the point in time I would be winging it the most. So not to throw trauma into what we're discussing about just trying to figure out how to be kinder to ourselves. But sometimes like trauma is the only response that you can formulate and work with that inner voice to make things happen, because your inner voice already has this negative stuff. So this other voice comes in and you can almost counteract one another and come up with a more cohesive plan, because you're in that panic, you're in that worry, you're in that stress zone than you could normally. And that could be why just chunk an observation, a thought that could be why we treat ourselves like crap, because using that trauma response creates more of a, what'd you call it? A dopamine release.
Yeah.
So to speak, but like gives you that feeling like you're working together instead of warring against one another. And then you can go forth and tackle on a situation where you can make yourself feel better because you handled it. I'm stoned. We can keep that in. We can take it out. I mean, whatever. And she's the one.
Sorry, I'm trying not to die. Well, I mean,
I went off topic. I'm sorry.
I feel like we can make this still work, though. We still got this.
But we have those listeners that were giving us ideas to come back through.
Right. Well, I mean, honestly, what? God, we had such good steam going earlier.
What it is? It's just because I just had a shitty day myself before we came over here and everything. And I mean, and it's just stuff that had been building. And I think just my own thoughts, because I told you, I feel like, I'm a human piece of garbage. And that's just how I've been feeling, for a while recently. So my mental health is tanked, where I normally like to come through and like when we say here, because I have a good time doing this. This is fun. This is great. And I love sharing comedy, and I love, making other people laugh. So then when I'm in this kind of a state, I can't get my inner thought to say, hey, be performative so that you can cater to others. And then you can self-loathe afterward.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to feel like that's what you have to do.
Oh, it's not just, and not here. Not just this. I'm just saying in general, like my approach to the world has always been, you have to be this. Like you were saying, like you always thought of yourself as it didn't matter. This is what you were when you were the funny fat friend, or if you're the skinny fat friend, whatever. Anyways, you're fucking funny, so it doesn't matter, and you're fucking beautiful. So fuck people who don't think it. However, you put yourself in the categories of which you're looking for in your head, and what you're trying to do to make yourself feel better about it. And I don't know. I feel like the only time I can get my shitty inner voice to not war with me is if I'm already warring with myself. And that's the only time I can achieve any sort of like clarity on the situation. But I have to like completely have a breakdown rage to get to that. And then I have to go apologize. And I hate that part. But I mean, I do it because I got to say, look, I needed that rage. I'm sorry, that it was directed at you or whatever. Please forgive me. And then it's up to you if you want to or not. But the only time I can get my inner voice to not treat me like shit.
Well, perhaps you just need to remember that your brain is just really loud sometimes, but that doesn't mean that it's right.
Dude, we went really dark here.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, I don't know. I feel like you got to remember that. You've got to.
I'd be completely fine if you want to start over and we can redo it. And I have no objections to that. If you feel that this is that we went darker than what we were looking to do, because we weren't. We were looking to bring some clarity to mental health but I want people to know and that I struggle with mental health. So I'm not sitting here judging anybody, because here I'm telling you exactly my own thoughts and what I do and what I think about myself. And I mean, maybe somebody's sitting out there going, okay, I'm not the only one. Like, I'm not the only one. I would love to hear somebody say like, yeah, I think like that too. And you have said things, and stuff like that as well. But I mean, I don't know. Everybody's, thought process is different of how far you want to put your own self down.
Well, I mean, I think you've got to think about our brains as like little detectives. Sometimes they solve the case wrong and then they just never choose to reopen the file.
That was very profound. That makes a lot of sense. You're right.
I mean,
because if labeling it this makes it solved, regardless of if it is or not, that part of me that can be like, all right, it's gone.
But I think that it's important that you stop self-loathing, because even whenever you are in that desperate moment, you need a little lifeline. There's got to be something that tethers you to reality, be it something that just brings you comfort. And a lot of times that was food for me.
Yeah. I know. That's the thing.
Or someone's presence. Sometimes I find comfort in presence because there's people that will genuinely listen to me, and then there's people that I can talk at.
Yeah.
But whenever I find those comfort moments, even sometimes familiar TV shows, like there's TV shows that I could just word for word, back to back. The IT Crowd. I've watched that so many times, but it's like my comfort. Whenever I'm feeling panicked and I'm feeling overwhelmed by the world, it's safe because I know I can count on it and I know that it's reliable. And I don't want to unpack all of the emotions of the day. I just want to crawl into it and I want to feel safe.
Yes, I agree. I just started thinking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer again.
So that must be your comfort. That must be your comfort level.
But when I'm sorry, I am Team Spike, not Team Angel. If you don't like it, I don't care. Spike was hotter.
But something to remember is you are allowed to update your story at any time. You're not locked into this version of you. Okay? You got to remember that. You just learned it for the first time. You're not locked in. At some point, there's going to be change. You're going to blossom. You're going to become more. So you have to learn to speak that good into you, even though it's hard, because no matter what you do, there's always going to be that small voice in the back of your head.
You know what I got to tell you, and I don't know if anybody has read this book, and if God forgive me because I cannot remember who wrote it, but the book is The Help. Then they did the movie The Help. Do you know which movie I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I've never seen it or read it. I apologize.
There's time. It's set back and when in the 50s in the South, and maids and how they took care of their children. They have a point in the movie where the maid is taking care of the little girl and she's just upset because the mom doesn't care. And she's telling her, you was kind, you was smart, you was important. And just what a profound moment that is, that she took on this mother role when her own kid was being cared for by others, to tell this little girl whose own mother can't say it to her, you are kind, you are smart, and you are important. Which means her mother said to her the same thing that she's now passing on to a little girl who's not her biological child, but a child nonetheless that needed to hear these words. Like Mom for a minute.
Well, and that comes around in the same sense of what I think is most important. If you think about something and it negatively says something bad about yourself, negatively says something, wow, okay, English is hard, where you talk down about yourself. I think in that moment, you need to ask yourself, would 10-year-old me be okay hearing this? How would 10-year-old me feel hearing this? I think it's important that we need to think about that part of us, because no matter what, there's still a child in all of us.
That's true.
That child that needs healed, that child that needs love, that child that needs positive affirmations.
And I keep circling back to the mom for a minute, because that's pretty much what we would like to do, where we would like to go with it. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. And that is the point.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'd like to be a voice to somebody, to just be like, you're kind, you're smart, you're important. And that's it. And then you can take that piece of paper out and read it and say, somebody thinks this of me. And whatever that voice in your head says, you can say, but somebody out there who doesn't even know my struggles still believes that I am all these things. And then you can hold on to them.
Right. I think that's important too.
I mean, I feel like I went a couple different places with this, but like I said, with my own struggles of things going on and my own self-loathing, and maybe me unloading this off here, that somebody else could listen to it and be like, you know what, I fucking that. And now I don't feel like, it's wrong that I felt like that. Maybe that's the issue here. Is it wrong for me to have the feeling? Is it wrong for me to express that I had the feeling? Is it wrong for me to do the raging of the thing? Because after I do get everything out, because I've been carrying it for so long and I'm tired and I drop it and don't think it's not like an instantaneous thing. It's just a buildup until I can't hold it. And then afterwards, like I feel better that I got it out, but then I feel like shit because I voiced it out to people that I mean, they should be helping me carry the load, but didn't technically deserve my rage, so to speak. And then, but then if I bottle it all up again, like I'm gonna, I end up back doing it again. So it's almost like if anybody here who listens to the cast wants to even throw out like, hey, here's a way you can, and then help me get through it. Cause I don't know another way to get past not hitting that rage. And maybe that should be the next episode is how to get past that rage. Who knows?
Right. I mean, maybe there is things that we need to touch on that might help, and we're open to suggestions. We are open to, you could message us, you could comment, anything. We're open to anything at this point. But something that I think is important that both of us need to remember is we just need to take a deep breath. You are worthy. You are growing. No matter what today held, you did not face it alone.
That is true.
All right.
True.
Beautiful closing, I think.
I agree.
We'll see you next time.
I will see everybody next time with less mental health issues, or maybe more.
Maybe, who knows? We might be going off the rails. We'll see.
Well, we're on a side quest.
Great.